Hi everyone. Today we will discuss about cacao bean fermentation in Indonesia. Indonesia is the third largest producer cacao beans in the world after Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, as we can see in this picture. And this is the spread of cacao cultivars in Indonesia. The biggest producer is Sumatra and followed by Sulawesi and Java. Cacao beans, Theobroma cacao, play a significant role in the production of chocolate and cacao products. Cacao fermentation is a crucial step in the process of biotransformation of cacao into chocolate for the development of flavor compounds. The organoleptic characteristics of this crop are developed during ripening, fermentation, and drying process. The microbial fermentation brings numerous biochemical reactions, leading to profound changes in flavor characteristics of cacao. These complex biochemical reactions, triggered mainly by yeast, bacillus, lactic, and acetic acid bacteria, cause the formation of specific flavor precursors, for example, organoleptic attributes in cacao beans. The essential methods used in cacao processing are fermenting and drying. Fermenting, in this phase, the ripe fruit extracted by hand, then transported in a series boxes and baskets. After half up to 1/2 days, the mass is transferred with wooden shovels into a second box and covered again. This process is repeated at fixed intervals until the fermentation is discontinued. This process helps in separation of pulp and beans. Cacao fermentation is not only important to give a chocolate the best flavor, but also to remove the tannins. Tannin is a bitter plant polyphenolic compounds that gives astringent flavor to chocolate that presents in cacao bean. The second essential process is drying. Subsequent to fermentation, the water content of the beans, about 60%, must be reduced less than 7.5%. But in this process, the air temperature, however, shouldn't exceed 60 degrees Celsius, since this will impact a burnt odor of the cacao. Now we will discuss about fermentation. There are three specific phases. The first phase of fermentation is a pulp degradation. The pulp cacao is an excellent medium for the growth of microorganisms, since it contains 10 up to 15% of sugars. This first microbial stage happens anaerobically, with sugar transformed to ethanol and release carbon dioxide in very low condition of oxygen. This first microbial stage happens anaerobically, with sugar transformed to be ethanol and release carbon dioxide in very low oxygen condition. This process takes place exothermic, which marked by increasing temperature. The second step of fermentation is acidification. It also called as microbial stage. It happens aerobically, wherein pulp around the beans, which is sticky, starts to exfoliate it. This aerobic or aeration process happens approximately 48 hours and allows strong growth of acetobacter, which can transform alcohol into acetic acid. Furthermore, acetic acid penetrates into the bean and causes changes that lead to formation chocolate flavor precursors. The third process of fermentation is browning. In this process, acetic acid penetrates into testa or husk of cacao beans. It happens an exothermic reaction that signed with temperature increases up to 50 degrees Celsius. The internal structure is disrupted and bean has killed. Cacao beans are composed of fats and proteins as white cells and polyphenols as purple cells. Due to the disruption, compounds in the beans mix and interact within themselves. The reaction between storage proteins, enzymes, it is proteolytic, polyphenol oxidase, and invertase, Also, and polyphenols result in formation of the crucial chocolate flavor precursors. The microbial ecology that involves in the first 2-3 days fermentation are various of filamentous species of fungi, yeast, lactic acid bacteria, and acetic acid bacteria. And the last stage was dominated by the presence of bacillus species. And here we can see various health beneficials consuming chocolate, for instance, brain booster, mood booster, vibrant vision, and many more, as we can see in this picture. Now we go to fermentation methods. The first method is heap method, which banana leaves are spread out over sticks a few inches above ground. It takes about 6 days to complete. And the second method is basket method, which use of wooden baskets with holes of the bottom. It takes from 3 to 5 days. And the last method is a book tray method, which use of wooden tray for drainage. It takes about 4 days. The second method is basket method. Is used of wooden baskets with holes of bottom. It takes from 3 to 5 days. And the last method is a box tray method, which use of wooden trays of drainage. It takes about 4 days. And the last method is box tray method, which use of wooden trays for drainage. It takes about 4 days. Okay, class, those are the complete explanation of cacao beans fermentation. See you for the next topic.
Chef.